One. Welcome back to Practical Magic Season 2, where we are learning to apply spiritual laws to the physical world to create abundance, freedom, and peace on earth. I'm Michelle Lee.
And I'm Megan Camille.
And together we are here today with Waxela Sananda.
Welcome, Waxela.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here again.
We are happy to have you back. And for those of you who do not know, Waxela is a quantum embodiment coach, a galactic shaman, ascension trainer, and best-selling author of The Love You Crave, a course in ascension, alchemy, and connection to the divine. Waxela guides clients to clear limiting beliefs, activate the multidimensional heart, and transform stagnant energy into dynamic, creative possibility. So excited to dive into this.
You're incredibly powerful, and we're so happy to have you here.
Well, I'm excited to get into it with you. And I always love to talk about these topics and practical magic and all the fun stuff that we get to explore.
Us too, us too. And Megan and I know how powerful you are, but can you share with our audience today just what is the work you do? What transformation are you creating? And why is that important right now?
Sure, I'm happy to share about that. So for me, I am a galactic shaman, and I do channel galactic guidance, and I help people. I'm really here for the ascension process. I assist people in stepping onto their ascension path, opening up their channel of their divine energy, their high self, their galactic channels, and being able to embody the higher frequencies, the ascended frequencies, so that they can hold higher and higher aspects of self, higher expressions of being. And this is what this time is all about. For me, and I have the Ascension training course where I take people through processes, and it's an ongoing thing. It's not just a one-time thing. And just to clarify, I know some people have different ideas about what the term ascension means. So the way that I use ascension is about bringing higher frequencies, so a higher expression of being. Some people would think of it as fifth dimensional and higher, or fourth density is common to hear that too, but higher than the regular 3D way of living, to bring those frequencies into the body and be able to hold them in your energy field. And at first it's just kind of like touching in and being able to sort of grasp them for a moment, and they might be fleeting, but with practice you can hold these frequencies longer and longer until you truly have embodied them and they become your energetic expression. They become who and what you are. So you eventually become a walking ascension vehicle, and everyone that you touch becomes touched by these higher frequencies and benefits from it in some way. So you're walking your service and your purpose just by doing this work.
Oh, that's incredible. I'm so glad that you went deeper into what it really means to ascend. So I'm curious, like you said, your students will touch into the frequencies and it's for a fleeting moment. What changes within us that we're able to hold those frequencies longer?
Yes, good question. So, like anything, it's a practice. And when you're practicing something new, like riding a bike, first it's just to get your balance on it, is difficult. And then you learn to go, and then after some time, you're like, okay, I got this. I can ride anywhere now. And you just have it. And so it's the same with new frequencies. It's a new way of being with your energy field. At first, it feels foreign. I start out with every new client doing quantum sound therapy, and they listen to these frequencies that are based on their voice affirmation, and the frequencies give back what's stressed, lacking, and missing in the voice code. It measures 1.2 billion bits of information in the voice code. And as they're listening in the beginning, they're always like, oh, I'm irritated. I don't like the way it sounds. I don't, and all my stuff's coming up, and all these things happen. And then after they have a daily practice of sitting with them, allowing themselves to absorb the frequencies and do the other, parts of the meditation and the activation work that we're working on, they, after inevitably, it's like a week or 2 weeks later, they're like, I like my frequencies now. They're starting to be able to hold those frequencies in their energetic system. So anything that's foreign to us might be uncomfortable at first. Trying to ride a bike for the first time or drive a car for the first time, that's uncomfortable at first. You like, you don't want to fall down, you don't want to get hurt, you don't know what's next. But then once you get the hang of it, it's really fun. And so it's the same. It's the same with the ascension frequencies. At first, they might feel incompatible, but then as we expand and do the work and open up and surrender our resistance, then we get to hold those frequencies and move up.
Yeah, I like that. And what is the purpose and importance of holding these frequencies and working our way into ascension? Like, what's the importance of that? Why are we so drawn to doing that?
Yeah, well, the spiritual seekers certainly are driven to do it. Not everybody is. Ascension work is not for everybody out there. For the people that are really on their spiritual path and striving for, for expansion, ascension is the process of doing that and of lightening. It's like lightening the load. We're releasing the old traumas. We're releasing the burdens of being human. And actually, in the embodiment of these frequencies, it becomes fun to be human. It becomes fun to be in this body. Where so many people who maybe they have their awakening experience, or they're empaths, or they're just inundated with too much, they don't know what to do with. And I've been there, with all the energy. It can be really uncomfortable to be in the body, and you want to hang out up here and not be in here, right? But when you learn how to do this work and hold the ascended frequencies and embody them, it gets to be fun to be human, and we get to be conscious creators of our lives. So I always kind of try and bring people in based on, let's have more fun during our time here. It's way more fun to be embodied and do this consciously than be sort of inundated and uncomfortable by being human.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we've noticed is as well in our own lives, and really as we go up that frequency ladder, that no more are we needing the struggle and the strife in order to learn and grow. That now we do actually get to have fun in the physical, and things get to um, fall into place more easily and joyfully. That's what we're finding.
Yeah, yeah, like I think you said getting into flow, and that really is another term for, embracing these higher frequencies and embodying them. That doesn't mean your stuff's not going to come up, and it will, but to be in flow with it and be in the allowing, be in the surrender is so much nicer than being in the resistance. Like, I don't know if I want to be here. It does take some work to get there, but the more you do it, the easier it gets and the more fun it gets. And I really do believe that part of this experience is, while it is challenging and we do have our things that we're here to be challenged by, we get to have fun. We get to enjoy it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that. And you talked a little bit about being a galactic channel, or a channel for galactic guidance. I really want to hear more about that. What exactly does that mean, and what sort of information comes through for you?
Ooh, yeah, that's a fun topic. So I am a starseed, as I'm sure many listening are. And that means I have consciousness embodied from off planet. So particularly, I have strong memories of Sirius B, which is a water world, and mer life. Mer as in mermaid, merman, whales and dolphins and all of that fun stuff in a purple atmosphere. And I could like paint the whole picture for you. I get a lot of information from Sirius. I also have Andromedan aspects. I get a lot of information from Andromeda, and multiple others. And I'm not going to name all of them, but there are, all the star seeds. So star seeds, someone who has consciousness here embodied from other planetary systems, from stars, from galaxies. And there's a way of consciously recollecting that, remembering that. And so as a galactic shaman, a galactic channel, I will reach to my guides. My guides inform me. And actually, I didn't go looking for this. They've been doing this for a long time. And I finally surrendered to it. And that's how I stepped into my path. I think we talked about that in our first interview. But when I surrendered that, okay, this is what I'm here to do, that's when things really opened up for me. And I embraced it. And I'm like, okay, I'll work with you. Let's see how this will go. So I receive information, and then I do a daily meditation. Sometimes that information is to be shared. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just for me personally. But whenever it's meant to be shared, then I share that to my list. I make videos on YouTube. I get it out there. And the latest that I've been getting is about New Lemuria. And I find this information is so fun and so fascinating. So for a lot of the star seeds, if you don't mind, I'll just tell you a little bit about New Lemuria. For a lot of the star seeds, we remember being in Lemuria or Atlantean times, and it was a slightly ascended version of, it wasn't exactly third dimensional, it was a higher dimension of reality. And so New Lemuria is part of the New Earth, and I won't get into that because I think your audience probably has heard of the New Earth, a new version of the Earth that we're on. New Lemuria is actually a state of being inside the New Earth frequencies. And so it's a golden Christ light consciousness that is a state of being, not a state of boundaries. And part of what my galactic guidance is assisting me with right now is ushering in the new Lemurian frequency and sharing those frequencies with the people that are ready to go there, ready to join and create this together. So it's a place within the New Earth, or a state of being within the New Earth. And the people who were previously in Lemuria, the original Lemuria, are very drawn to the new Lemuria. And it's a lot of Syrian and Pleiadian and Orion energies and Andromedan and Arcturian. So there are a lot of them on planet right now, specifically here to create this and hold space for this frequency and create pathways to usher people in. And so this is also part of the ascension process for those who choose it. It's not required, but it's a lot of fun to step into that golden light. It's also an emerald city. And so lately, all of my channelings, or lots of them, have been about how to assist people to step into new Lemurian frequencies so that we can actually step through the portal into new Lemuria and have that life experience.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I want to dive into that. I'm like, I wonder if I'm supposed to be part of the new Lemurian.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That's incredible. So exciting. So exciting. And to have that inside, you like get inside information.
Yeah, I do. And it's all there. It's really, for me, it's always been a matter of surrendering to receive it. It can be really intense. Sometimes there's still, after all these years I've been doing this, there's still this resistance, a little, voice of resistance within me. So it's not like I'm just over it. I still go through my own, like, okay, I'm going. And the thing that I confront when I go into those other worlds, that is, I think, where my resistance comes from, is there's always an aspect of my mind, I guess it's more my personality, that questions if I'm going to be able to come back. And then it's like, but I have children and, things to do here. I have to come back. And so it's just that, and maybe that's important. Maybe that's what does pull me back, or maybe I would just go, right? And my job is to stay here and assist in this process. So it's kind of interesting when I really go deeply in. I always have this little like echo of, what if you don't come back? Get back here.
Yeah. Wow. That's so interesting. I can imagine that you would feel that way.
Yeah. And what is your process to getting there? I mean, it sounds like you really go elsewhere, right? Like different from where you're at right here, right now. How do you do that?
Oh yeah, great question. So I do a daily meditation practice. Some days it's a humdrum regular meditation where I'm just kind of trying to shut my mind off. Other days it's very different, and it's more of a journeying experience. I don't always know when that's going to happen. Oftentimes my guidance will come and get me in my sleep too. I said get me, that's kind of scary. They'll come and like work with me. So I become conscious of them. I have a pillow at the back of my, or I just push a pillow to the back of the headboard on my bed, and I sit up cross-legged in bed. And that's how I meditate. I don't even move from my bed. I just get up. I just sit up. And so I found that that like creates the least amount of awakeness. I just kind of pop up and like, okay, where are we going? But I did have, I will say that one of the things that I find very, very, very transformational and that assists me in this work is the sun, and sun gazing at sunrise and sunset just for 15 minutes or so, as the sun comes up and as the sun is setting. You can look directly at the sun. Now, I'm not giving advice to do that. If it's not right for you, don't do it. But this is something that I do that has really helped on my path. The sun has 12-dimensional frequencies from central sun coming through it. It is an ascended being of light that is giving us all of this amazing energy. Don't wear sunglasses. Don't wear suntan lotion. Let the sun be on your skin. It will evolve your body. As the sun comes into the eyes, it activates the pineal gland. It clears the energy field. It balances the hormones. We soak it up into the skin. It activates our crystalline blueprint. Our DNA gets more information, and we come online. And so the sun, I work directly with the sun in my own ascension process. And so the most recent experience I had where New Lemuria really opened up for me, I just put a little YouTube video about it the other day. I was in Riviera Maya, Mexico, just a few weeks ago. And I went out for sunrise, and I sat on this lovely palapa facing the sun as the sun was rising. And I felt my twin flame energy across from me. And when I say twin flame energy, a lot of people think of that as another person, but it's actually a consciousness. It's a consciousness that is connected to my soul. And so that consciousness projected itself in front of me. I experience it as a him because I experience myself as a her, even though we're beyond that at the highest level. So we both put our hands out like this, and this is in the sunrise energy, which was so powerful that morning. And this golden world opened up. It was a Stargate portal into New Lemuria. And I saw it. It was a golden world. The energy, the frequency of it's amazing. And I saw it and I felt it and I experienced it. And then I had the download, the understanding, this is what we're doing here. This is what's going on right now. We're bringing this to this planet. It's here and now. It's already here. It's just a matter of enough of us becoming aware of it and conscious of it so that we can step into that frequency and have that ascended experience of being on the planet now. I mean, the earth is already ascending. She's already there in fifth dimensional frequency. It's up to us to get on board and jump in. And so it was in the morning sunlight where I first had I was already getting little bits of it, but this was the most clear experience of the place itself, the place of being, what it looked like, what it felt like, the light of it, the golden frequency, and all of these things. And it just felt so amazing. And that's when I felt like I could just fall in here and never come out, and yet it's my job to share that.
I love that. I mean, I got chills listening to you share that. And what's so interesting is I walk every morning. And this morning was the first morning since the spring equinox that the sun's coming up during my walk. It had been dark, right? And the sun was rising. And I was like, oh, good, I get to sun gaze a bit, and I hadn't been able to do that. And I'm so in alignment with the sun gazing piece and receiving that light and information. I just see that as such an incredible synchronicity this morning that happened this morning. And you're talking about that, Waxela. one quick question, because I just feel compelled to ask you this. In talking about ascension, and I know there's a lot of spiritual teachings that there's something that's going to happen, like a big event that's going to happen on the earth, like disclosure, money being dispersed. Is that truly a sign of ascension, or is, what's your take on that?
My take is I don't believe in any of that. I don't listen to any of it, and I don't believe in any of it. Ascension is, the way I teach it and experience it, is an incremental step-by-step process for most people. For most people. Now, there are the few people that have these spontaneous awakenings, boom, they're like, suddenly in a higher, that does happen, but that's not really the goal, because that can really be disconcerting. And it can take a lot of energy to get your mind right again and get your bearings after a huge awakening experience like that. My training and my understanding from guidance is to just help people do one step at a time, to hold, like I said, brush into the frequencies that are higher, and then allow whatever comes up to come up. Whatever, as we raise our frequency, whatever was previously in the way of us being at that frequency is going to show up to be cleared, not to bring us down, but to allow us to release it, let it go, clear it. And then we get to hold that frequency, right? It's a step-by-step incremental process. It's not a big boom process. At least that's how I receive it and how I teach it. I don't care about any of that other stuff. I don't believe in it.
Yeah, I love that. And I think even earlier you had mentioned, our Mother Earth is already at 5D. It's actually up to us now to tap into those frequencies, right? It's not like some sort of savior thing. Instead, we already have the opportunity and the option to work on our own ascension and meet at that frequency. So that's
Right
powerful.
here and now. And it's always the eternal now. Now is always the time to do the work. There is no other time than now. Just take that first step.
Yeah, love it.
Love it. Thank you. Okay, so as we're coming to the end, we really want to save some time here for you to go over your magical practice for our audience to be implementing in their day-to-day life starting now.
Yes. So I thought about this, like, what am I going to offer today? And what I received, I did not expect. And I just got this like 10 minutes before we got on. I did not expect this, but what I'm going to offer is shamanic cord cutting. And so shamanic cord cutting, if you think about every relationship that you've ever had with anybody, with your parents, your friends, your exes, all of the people, your old boss, whatever, we as humans naturally cord to each other. And when I say cord, I'm talking about our etheric cords. You might not see them visibly, but we feel the cording. So we like sort of get our cords in other people get our cords in us, and you can feel it. And sometimes they're uplifting and energizing and happy cords. That's not the cording we're worried about. What I'm talking about cutting is the unhealthy cords that are not of love and not for the highest good of all, and not for your highest good, can actually hold you back from your ascension process. So it's really important to be able to cut those cords. And I do this is something I do in my shamanic practice for other people, but I'm going to give you kind of a shortened version. I usually take an hour to do this with someone, maybe 45 minutes, but I'm going to do this in a shortened version just to give you an experience of it. And then if you want to take that and run with it and work with it, you can go through every person in your life one by one and cut those unhealthy cords and clear your energy.
Love that.
All right.
All right, so I'll just jump in here, and you begin by, and now if I was doing this with an individual, I would say your name, you would say your name and the other person's name, but we're just going to do this in general so you have an idea of how it works. So start by just tuning in and getting a visual of that other person that you'd like to clear cords with, and just get a feeling of their energy, and picture them sitting across the room from you, and feel the energy that exists between the two of you, and just notice what you're feeling. And if you're doing this, then there's probably some tension, some cording that needs to be cleared between the two of you, an energetic experience between you that you're ready to shift. And so now, as you see that person there across from you, affirm to yourself that you are making the choice to clear these cords that are unhealthy. We're only clearing the unhealthy cords. If it's someone you have love for, but you've just got some tension with, we're not clearing the divine love. We're not clearing that. We're clearing the unhealthy cording. So state your intention internally. In this case, I choose to clear, sever, and cut all unhealthy cords across all time, dimension, space, and reality with this other being now. And in this, I'm going to call in Archangel Michael and the divine light sword of Archangel Michael. He brings his sword and cuts those unhealthy cords front and back. And now feel yourself in your own energy released from the cording from that person, and feel yourself now sending out in a deep breath. Take a deep breath in and blow out that person's energy from your field, just either gently or intensely, however feels good. Take 3 deep breaths, and as you go, just release that person's energy from your field, clearing, clearing your field, releasing that energy. And on the 3rd breath, fully clear and complete in your own energy and free of those old cords that were not serving the highest good of all. And now imagine that other person who you've cleared with, and you are receiving back your energy that has been stored with that person for however much time, possibly lifetimes, allowing that energy to come back to you and flow into your field. It might look like little glittery stardust. It might look like rainbows, however you experience it coming in, breathing it in and allowing it to fill in your field. And as you're doing that, invite your soul fragments, the soul fragments that belong with you, that could be assisting you in this lifetime, that have been outside of you, calling them back, calling back your soul aspects across all time, dimension, space, and reality now to fill in your field and fortify your energy. And now open your heart to receive all of these wonderful bits of your soul back into your heart space, and put your hands over your heart and just absorb these beautiful bits of your soul coming home. And breathe into the heart and allow your soul parts that have just been welcomed home to anchor into the base of your spine, anchoring them into your self now. And now imagine that other being in their brightest light, the one who you started sitting across from. Imagine their brightest soul aspect, the part of them that's connected to divine source, the part of them that is true, pure love, as we all are at the highest level. And draw a rainbow bridge of light from your heart to that person's heart, and see nothing but unconditional pure love being sent on that rainbow bridge of light, in complete forgiveness for any negativity that used to exist, knowing that all of your interactions have served to assist you in some way. And just feel that energy flowing, and now allow yourself to receive back from that highest aspect of that other's soul in divine light on that rainbow bridge, pure love, pure light, pure unconditional truth flowing between you, feeling that that rainbow bridge is completely clear with pure energy between the two of you. And then release that person to their divine light. And breathe And bring your awareness now again back to your heart center, feeling yourself in your new ascended frequency, feeling those new bits of self settling in, upgrading, and embodied in your human vehicle now. And with that, bring your consciousness back, feeling fully aware, fully present, fully energized from this experience, and open your eyes.
Wow.
That was so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do it with the next person.
Did you feel a difference?
I felt actually at the end, there was like laughter and joy, like, oh my gosh, this makes so much sense. Like there doesn't have to be this chord, right? Like this was all so perfect. Yeah, that's what I loved about it. It was just like the peace afterwards and like the true laughter, like bliss.
Beautiful.
Yes, yes, exactly. Beautiful. I have had people literally like shoot back when we did Michael's sword in their chair. Like the release was so great, that like complete release, and it's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you. What a great practical tool to be using, maybe daily, depending. So thank you. Thank you for that. So generous.
You're
I
welcome.
know,
My pleasure.
yes, I know that you have a free gift. Would you like to just speak into that briefly?
Yes, I'm offering the Evolving Consciousness Masterclass. This is a masterclass that I did that's really going to assist people with opening up to embody those ascended frequencies, to evolve their consciousness, their awareness, their connection to galactic family. It's really about expanding and receiving and allowing yourself to be more embodied so that you can have more fun and step into those higher frequencies and hopefully join me in New Lemuria. And I do have a live course coming up on stepping into New Lemuria soon. For everybody on my list will receive an invitation to that. So I invite everyone to come for that as well.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Love it.
Thank you, Waxela, for being here with us today.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me. I always appreciate being with both of you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone for tuning in again today. Tune in for our next interview and we will see you then.
Bye.